previewing some of the shoes that are coming out in August of 2021. As always, I'm Adam, and I'm joined with Junior. Junior, are you ready?
Let's go.
Okay, Junior, after last month, there was some pushbacks from June that ended up in July. So we kind of have a bit of a fresh start here for August. So let's just jump right into it.
Let's do it.
Okay, cool. So the Nike ACG Mountain Fly Low Flash Crimson, I believe there's another colorway coming in this shoe. I'm really excited to see that ACG is making a bit of a comeback. This was a shoe that I kind of grew up wearing. Some of those ACGs, a little bit more clunky, and the technology really wasn't there yet. But in terms of getting off-road and getting into some of those more aggressive terrains, this was an incredible shoe. What's your thoughts on this take and the resurgence back of the ACG, which I expect to see a lot more of these?
I love the ACG, all the clothing line, the ACG clothing line, as well as the shoes. I used to rock ACG winter boots back in the day, the high blacks.
Oh yeah.
All murdered out, all blacked out, absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
I like the resurgence. You know, I think they even did who was it? Paul George's shoe. They did a ACG.
Okay.
So like kind of like a all conditions type of basketball sneaker. I like it. I think the price point, it's gonna be a bit higher just because the tech that's involved. But
yeah,
I mean, if I get a nice colorway out in these, I might be forced to pick them up.
Yeah. No, this is good. I like to see what Nike's doing here, and let's continue on to see what we got here in August. Continuing. Okay, so the Nike Air Force One Shadow Sisterhood. This is an interesting shoe because the idea behind this is kind of like, BFF, you kind of have one half of the lock necklace and the other person has the other half. And this is kind of an idea around that surrounding shoes. So I kind of like the interest level that this will create. And I kind of like some of the details they did with the Air Force One. Again, record and history shows that I'm not a huge Air Force One guy, but what do you think about these here?
You know what? Nike does what they do, and they're starting to really target the female population with their products. So
yeah,
good for you. Good for making stuff specifically for them. I think it's a cute idea. But not a huge Air Force One fan, of course. Never have been, unless they're the highs. I do like the highs. The lows, not a big fan of. I just find they're a bit too clunky. But this is one of those shoes that women and girls rock. They like the clean them. White Air Force One. So this is a bit more for them and kind of that BFF stuff. I think it's a cool idea.
Cool. All right, let's see here. Okay, so I really like these actually. So people who don't know, Sneakers is like an app that you can go to where they might have some exclusive releases. I've never been able to pick up anything on Sneakers, and I'm sure I'm not the only one if you're watching this video that you haven't been able to get a cop on there. When they did have the Sneakers Express, which was a streetcar thing when they hosted in Toronto, they hosted the NBA All-Star game. I did have an opportunity to get on a couple of those Express trains, and which was pretty cool experience overall. A lot of common cops. There wasn't anything that was really like this, but I actually really like these Jordan 1 lows. I love the print. This is kind of a thing that you're seeing really incorporated into shoes over the last few years. I even like the colorway, kind of a undertone kind of yellow and so on. What do you think?
The Jordan 1 lows are kind of growing on me a little bit. You know me, I'm not a big low type of shoe wearer. I like a little more, meat on the bones with my shoes, but they're kind of growing on me. Still don't know if I'm right there where I'm gonna cop, but I know Jordan does have a trainer coming out in the next few months that looks absolutely fire. And that is definitely going to be on my pickup list. But these still, I like them. They're a nice shoe. Just not a big fan of the lows.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And I see over the years, I've become more of a low guy because I like to have, a little bit less weight and a little bit of a lighter shoe. And I don't like things kind of riding up here. Fragment design, the Travis Scott times Air Jordan lows. These are going to be like extremely difficult to get. These are going to be a very popular shoe. I think your take on the last one was that you're kind of over the backwards check and the Travis Scott kind of vibe. This kind of shoe is a bit of I might be the only one, and I'm sure you're probably going to be on my side here, but I'm not a big fan of these, to be honest, at all. They kind of look like a beat up old pair of like off-brand Nike shoes, and I get that. I get that's the idea.
Yeah,
it's just not something I'm willing to put on my feet and walk around in.
Yeah, this shoe reminds me of a pair of shoes I had. They were a 1983 Magic Johnson high top Converse that I used to ball in at lunch.
Remember
I didn't
those?
want to mess up my good shoes. That's what it looks like. Just squished, beat down, nothing much to it. That backwards check and the low is an absolute no from me.
I love it. So the Nike Zoom Freak 3 Orange Freak. I think we talked about this when we talked quickly about PJ Tucker's sneaker line on the cast a couple of weeks ago. Yeah. But he actually had these shoes on before Giannis had even seen the shoe. And now there's actually video of that interaction when I believe PJ Tucker was wearing a pair of, I think it was Air Force Ones or Jordans that were $250,000 in diamonds on the shoes. I don't know if you saw that. But basically he walks in those and he's carrying these in. And Giannis hadn't even seen these shoes yet, but these are the Greek Freak's third shoe. Congratulations on winning the title, of course. And these are set to come out. I actually really like these. Not a huge fan of the colorway, but the actual design of the shoe, I'm really liking it.
Yeah, the lower is very interesting to me, just the design. The upper, I don't know. Just the material to me, it looks like it might be, I don't know, something that I'm not going to like.
Just not going to find comfortable, or?
Yeah, just it feels almost like a synthetic that I'm not going to jive with it. If I can find a nice colorway in these, maybe I might be persuaded, but still a no from me.
Okay. All right. Adidas times Bad Bunny, the Forum Buckle Low. When I worked at Champs and slung shoes for many, many years, these shoes just flew off the shelves whenever we had them. The style of Adidas, especially when they were making the resurgence in kind of the 2000s there. Not a big fan of Adidas. It's well documented. But what do you think about these kind of, it's a bit of a mid almost. Like it's low, but it's a little bit higher than a low.
Yeah. So these buckles come from the straps, right? So the straps low were the OGs back in the day. Mm-hmm. And those shoes, I had a pair of custom Croc skin that were a deep brown and a nice kind of undertone tan underneath. They were probably the sickest shoes I had. They were so comfortable. The look was just phenomenal. They kind of have that same vibe here. But these shoes are all murdered out. I think if they come out with some different colorways on these, obviously, they're going to fly. Not a huge Adidas guy, but I still rock my shell toes, so it's shell toes with the fat laces. Those never go out of style. The all whites, right? So that's about it.
Bad Bunny, is a Puerto Rican rapper, but I mean, it's kind of interesting that this is like a collab because I really don't see any it's not really any flavor to the shoe. It's kind of just a blacked out Adidas as far as I'm concerned. So I wonder if there'll be more collabs from them in the future and what those might look like.
Yeah.
So Air Max. Actually, I have my Air Max hat on here, and that wasn't actually planned. So that's kind of funny, actually. Air Max 95s. These are the Air Max 2021s. I actually thought these were pretty eye-catching. Now, my concern with this shoe is kind of that elevated heel and the pressure that you're getting put on the forefoot. Just knowing the shoes and so many different pairs that I've had over the years and various Nikes, which is basically the only shoe that I buy. My concern is kind of putting pressure on the forefoot, but I think they look really cool and very kind of fashion forward in that way.
Yeah, these kind of remind me of like a space hippie meets
absolutely.
Functionality, I don't know how functional this shoe is really going to be.
This doesn't look like a legitimate running shoe. I don't think you're going to be running in a shoe like this, right? I think you're going to roll an ankle if you try to run in these shoes.
This is like a culture shoe. This is a shoe for the Air Max culture, right? So
yeah.
No.
Okay. I'll be interested to see.
I love my Air Max, but No.
I'm more on the subtle Air Max side, the 90s, 95s maybe. But once you start getting to the full bubbles, when they started doing 360s and 720s, wasn't a big fan. A lot of pressure on those shoes if you don't have the right insole, which Nike stock insole, unfortunately, Nike is just not cutting the mustard. You do have to get something a little bit higher quality.
Yeah.
But I would like to see that kind of change in Nike because it's such a cheap swap to put a half decent insole in there.
Oh, for sure.
And
increases comfort level, stability tenfold.
Huge, yeah.
Yeah.
I like the price point though on those at 160. Sacai Blazer, Nike Blazer lows. This is the light British tan. It looks like there's a few different colorways coming out in these. I wanted to put them on here just because they're kind of interesting. Like they're just a different look than what you've seen for. You got the double Nike there. You kind of got this like overlapping rubber. It almost looks like kind of the duct tape kind of vibe. I kind of like these. Like I actually might even consider buying a pair of these because I actually I like them to that degree. I wouldn't normally say that, but I do like also the flexibility that you're really not going to get your feet wet so much with how high those are. And I like the idea of that, when it comes to like, rain and so forth. You got the double tongue as well, I'm noticing.
Yeah. I actually have a pair of Blazer lows.
Oh, nice.
I did a custom pair on Nike ID.
Oh, sweet.
So absolutely love them. These are funky joints. These are real funky joints. I don't know. There's just something about them that's just not jiving with me. I don't know.
Could be the colors, maybe.
Yeah, it could just. I think it's the sole. I think it's the
little
rubber
too much,
like the lowers. I think there's just a bit overkill.
I think this is going to be a real popular shoe for any skateboarder because you can just shred the crap out of the sides of these.
Yeah, that's what Sacai does, right? They overboard a shoe.
Yep.
Like when you look at the waffle that they do, it's just extra. But I dig the Blazers though. Blazers super comfortable lows. The only lows I wear really.
Really? Okay.
Would be that, yeah.
Okay, and let's move over to the Pooch of the Month. Now, in past, we've had some Reeboks coming through. I can't remember what the last one was. Maybe it was a Yeezy. Let's see what we got here.
It was the 2 Yeezy releases, yeah.
Was it the 2? Okay.
Oh my God, it's Reebok again.
Okay, so they've been doing Jurassic Park. We saw Ghostbusters. We saw some of the pumps coming back. And now they have the Reebok Club C, the Jelly Belly.
Reebok. This is from me, from my heart, but you need to stop doing collabs.
I don't even know if this is a collab with anybody. They'll say they walked down the Dollarama aisle and they pulled out a bag of jelly beans and threw them at the shoe.
What I mean in collab is they're taking a brand and they're merging it with their stuff. It ain't working. It's like you brought out the Kamikaze, which no one wanted. Like seriously,
no one asked for those.
No one wanted those to come back out. They were happy having those in the graveyard. And then you follow that up with the Ghostbuster shoe, and then you've got Power Rangers and Jurassic Park,
the other one.
And now these, and you're putting out garbage colorways of the answers. Come on, just stick to what works. This ain't it.
Yeah, and it might not be. I'm thinking back to when Reebok might have had some shoes that actually flew off the shelves. Again, I have that history in selling these sneakers and stuff like that. They did a lot of city collabs on some of the earlier styles. So they had like Toronto edition, New York edition. Those things would fly off the shelves. You just bring back some of the classics that we're used to with Reebok. I mean, I'm not going to buy them, but people who are Reebok fans might buy them. Or maybe just stop with shoes maybe and focus on a different part of the brand where it can have a little bit more uptick, because I don't think these are going to be in the clearance aisle as far as I'm concerned. That's kind of it for the lace up, I guess. We're going to be live on the cast later tonight and every Tuesday night at 9:00. So please let us know what you think below, if we missed any shoes that you want us to talk about, or if you have any September releases that you'd like us to make sure that we capture in the next one. Please as well, and then consider subscribing to our channel. We have a lot of great content. We like to push out a lot of stuff for you guys. Hit those subs. We're trying to get to 100 subs. I know that's a small milestone for some, but it's a huge milestone for us, and we need your support. So we thank you for watching and giving us your entertainment dollar, so to speak. So for everybody here at Offside and Out of Bounds, I'm Adam.
I'm Junior. see
see
you
real
real soon.
soon.